Duel 1 is officially complete from Daytona International Speedway, and we see a pretty straightforward race with a pretty solid finish at the end, and Ford winning Duel number 1. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching Duel number 1 from Daytona International Speedway. We got some stuff to talk about from Duel number 1, so let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Before the green flag drop in this race, a couple drivers in Duel 1 had to drop to the rear. Chandler Smith and BJ McLeod would drop to the rear for unapproved adjustments in Duel number 1 due to some issues. That's pretty much it, and they would drop to the rear. So at the start of the race, it Alex Bowman lead the field from the outside with Alex Bowman on the inside, with Ryan Blaney basically on the inside, and we saw Alex Bowman being able to get the race lead for a little bit, and then eventually he lost a draft with Ryan Blaney and Ross Chastain pretty much being side by side for about 5 or 6 laps, with basically them side by side. And then eventually they basically became a single file race, and everyone kind of fell back in the race. Then near the end, on lap 22, basically all the cars that come down pit road, basically the Chevys all came down pit road. William Byron, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., A.J. Allmendinger, Ross Chastain, Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, and Jimmy Johnson, they will all basically come down pit road. Unfortunately, Chandler Smith, one of the drivers trying to get in this show, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. unfortunately sped on pit road, and it's to kind of take him out of contention for the race. Then eventually, with around 30 laps to go in Duel number 1, all the other drivers came down pit road in contention, and unfortunately, Ty Gibbs ended up speeding on pit road. After the green flag pit stops happened, Joe Logano's team basically, I think, only took fuel, and they were able to basically win the race completely off pit road, and then it pretty much became single file. You're wondering if you were going to see the Chevys potentially try to catch, or the cars in that second group were going to catch group number 1. But what they did was critical, was coming in later, and they basically did a much better job in Duel number 1, and it came down basically to those drivers. Now, near the end of the race, Ty Dillon actually had his tire nearly get back on pit road, but luckily it didn't get out of his pit box, and a caution did not come out. So with 2 laps to go in Duel number 1, we saw basically Bubba Wallace, the 34 car to 38, Michael McDowell, and of course Zane Smith. They were trying to basically set up the run to try to get up there, but they basically kind of fell a little bit back. Bubba Wallace tried to get a run, and on the last lap of the race, Bell goes to the outside, trying to make a run in it. Then they started being a lot of blocking. Then you got Ryan Blaney goes on the inside down the backstretch, and pretty much quintessentially, Logano they basically holds him off. Yes, Bell has a good run near the end, but coming off the corner, Joe Logano pulls off and he photo finished Bell, and he wins Duel number 1. Good congratulations to Joey Logano. This, I believe, is like his 3rd or 4th duel win he's ever got. I'm not entirely sure, but a big win for Joey Logano nonetheless. He'll start 3rd in this year's Daytona 500. Really good to see Joey Logano get that done. I don't know if he had the best car, but he had definitely for sure had a fast car in the Fords. Looked extremely strong. So Joey Logano wins Duel number 1 at Daytona. So now we're going to take a look at the results of today's race and give you my score of today's race as well. So Joe Logano wins Duel number 1 and will start 3rd in the Daytona 500. Bell finishes 2nd. Bell almost timed it perfectly, but Logano put a good block, basically held him off near the end. Bell will start 5th in the Daytona 500. Good job by Bell. Ryan Blaney finishes 3rd. Ryan Blaney, in my opinion, for sure had the best car in Duel number 1 for sure, but unfortunately, Logano, a couple other guys, and Kevin Harvick were able to get off pit road a little bit better, but still a really good run from Ryan Blaney. He'll start 7th in Daytona 500. Chris Buescher finishes 4th. Really strong run from Chris Buescher. Michael McDowell finishes 5th. Great run from Michael McDowell. Kevin Harvick finished 6th. Kevin Harvick was 2nd, but it fell back a little bit near the end. He finished 6th, so pretty respectful. Bubba Wallace finishes 7th. Bubba Wallace ran 2nd or 3rd most of this race, but 7th is still pretty respectful. That's not a bad run. He's finished no worse than 7th in his dual races in the past, so consistently in the top 10. Good run from Bubba Wallace. Zane Smith finishes 8th, and he will race in this year's Daytona 500. He finished the highest of all the open cars, so Zane Smith, of course, was the 3rd fastest in qualifying as well. Zane Smith will race in the Daytona 500. Major congratulations to Zane Smith. I expected Zane Smith to get in, whether it was from qualifying or whether it was from the duels. Zane Smith is a pretty respectful super speed racer. I predicted that he would get in, so he will officially race in this year's Daytona 500. Massive congratulations to Zane Smith. Harrison Burton finishes 9th. William Byron finishes 10th in basically the highest of the second pack. They just were not able to catch him near the end. Ross Chastain finishes 11th. Chastain led 1 lap, the only lap led by a team non-Ford. He finished 11th. Eric Jones finishes 12th. Austin Dillon finishes 13th. Jimmy Johnson finishes in 14th. A.J. Allmendinger finishes 15th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finishes 16th. Alex Bowman, who basically just decided to hold it back, he finishes 17th. Chandler Smith, who finishes 18th. And unfortunately for Chandler Smith, he was not able to qualify in this year's Daytona 500 due to basically having issues in a regular qualifying and other problems as well, but still finishes 18th in a duel, but unfortunately will not race in this year's Daytona 500. Ty Gibbs finishes 19th, Cody Worth finishes in 20th, and Ty Dillon finishes last in 21st place after coming down pit road near the end. So now let's talk about the overall race as a whole and give you my score for duel number 1. Duel 1 was pretty much uneventful. It was basically for the first 7 or 8 laps, it was basically side by side. But then, basically for the rest of the race, the last 2 laps, it was basically single file. Then near the end, of course, we did have a good finish, which kind of salvaged this race just a little bit. But it was pretty much most of the race a single file run, and pretty much was just a single file run. So for the score of duel number 1, I'm giving it overall a 4.5 out of 10. When I watch a super speed race, I want to see a little bit more double wide racing and not a lot of single file, because it's basically choo-choo racing, and it was uneventful. Granted, I know these guys are saving their cars and they're saving their stuff for the Daytona 500 for sure, but still, I want to see a little bit more eventful racing. So like I mentioned, my score for the duel number 1 is 4.5 out of 10. I definitely hope for sure that duel number 2 is a little bit eventful. That will be coming up here very, very shortly. But congratulations to Joey Logano on winning duel number 1. And also congratulations to Zane Smith as well on winning and making it into the Daytona 500. So that is going to be the race review for duel number 1. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Notifications on so you're notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Links description below over that, and comment below your thoughts below on today's video. What are thoughts about duel number 1? Let me know below in the comments, and congratulate Joey Logano winning duel number 1, and congratulate Zane Smith in making it to the Daytona 500. Let me know that in the comments below. Like I said, later on the channel, we'll have duel number 2 on the channel, and then tomorrow morning, we'll have a NASCAR news video on the channel as well, and a reaction to the Truck Series race on the channel. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.